Hello everybody, Maven here, and today we're going to be doing a Crucible Maps tier list. Now, I know other YouTubers have done this before, but it varies from person to person because at the end of the day, these are all opinions, so our list will differ. And yes, I know the famous line of you should never express your opinions on the internet. It's never a good idea. Like, we all saw what happened when somebody first expressed their opinions on a divinity nerf in the first place. So it's dangerous territory, but you know what? I like the Crucible and I like this concept. I like doing tier lists, so I'm just gonna do one anyway, so let's get to it. Hope you enjoy. All right, so for Disjunction, we are placing this map at trash tier. Right off the bat at trash tier. So I should preface this tier list by saying that I am not a fan of sniper maps. Like, maybe you are, that's cool, that's your thing if you love sniping. But just me personally, it aggravates me because just like no matter where you go on this map, you get trapped. It's like there's gonna be somebody camping with the Jade Rabbit right there. And if you go down the middle lane, there's gonna be people with scouts and snipers just like chilling up on the perch, ready to pop you when you peek your head. If you wanna get a close range around this area here, you get teamed so hard from the people inside and out. There is a big reason why a lot of people who queue into this map instantly leave, and I'm not gonna lie, I am one of those more often than not. You know, sometimes I'll play it out if I'm not feeling like matchmaking again, but most of the time, if I have a choice, I really just do not want to play at this map. And I appreciate that Bungie gave us a new map, but they could have definitely done better than Disjunction. Next up is Altar of Flame, another long-range map, which I don't like, but I'm putting it at D tier because it's not as bad as Disjunction. And this is another camp heavy map. You know, people like to camp from here where heavy used to be. It used to be right here, but they moved it over there. And I understand why. But people will just camp down here and camp down the lane right there. And it's very annoying when you're at A tier and you have to face down the opponent that's at C tier because they will hard camp these spots right here. Like there'll be always somebody in this nasty head glitch right here. You just can't fight this. If you're on the receiving end of this, you're not gonna fight it. As soon as you turn the corner, you're dead to a Jade Rabbit or no time to explain. And then they will also be right here in this doorway, and they have a very easy escape plan through this hallway, so they will just be like right here, ready to just shoot anyone who's trying to grab heavy or just coming out right there. If you are going through dark here, through the tunnel, you are just asking to get naded out right here. And then if you're trying to push in through B, you know, you're also just asking for a nade to happen right here, you know? You're just gonna get naded out wherever you try to push, and if you try to push from the longer ranges, you're just gonna get sniped and scouted out. You know, there's just like not a lot you can do to push people who are huddling up, head glitching in C. At least the A area is really not too bad. Next up is the Anomaly, and this one we are throwing in the D tier as well. For this one, it's just that the map is too shotgun heavy, and there I go complaining about shotgun maps when I just complained about range maps. So what makes you happy, Maven? Well, I like diverse maps, and this one is just mono shotguns and mono fusion rifles. You know, if you want to play mid to long range, there's really not many places you can do it other than right here. And then there is, if you go towards where heavy spawns, you can sometimes, you know, get some shots across the lane to people who are running through B trying to shotgun, so you can try to punish them. And then there is the outside of B over here, and you can get people who are running in from C. This is the only places that you can play with the hand cannon. You know, everywhere else is just shotgun central. You're just constantly running around shotgunning through corners, and it's very annoying to go up against. You just cannot use what you want to use. If you load into this map, you better throw in a shotgun or you're gonna suffer. And I don't think that's a really healthy thing for a good map. And I really think that it's cool that this map has some moving parts to it. You know, there's only two maps that have moving parts, which is this one and then the Burnout. And that's really cool. You know, Bungie tries something new and I like it, but it could be a little bit better. And I think what could make this map so much better and move it from a D tier up to like a B tier is if they remove this stupid giant ball. This giant ball just gets in the way. You know how I said the problem is like this is just mono shotguns and you can't play mid-range here? Well, if they remove this ball in the middle of the map that's here for no apparent reason, you would be able to play mid-range because it would help you punish shotgun rushers from all around the map, no matter where the shotgun rusher is. If you're standing somewhere in the middle, you have a vantage point on all the angles, you'd be able to punish people who are running through corridors with shotguns. Next up is Bannerfall, and while this is pretty much considered a long-range map, I'm going to throw it at the C tier because it is a little bit more diverse. There is angles to actually get in. Now, every long-range map has its camp spot, and in this map, that would be Stump or Mohawk. There's always somebody right here with a pulse or scout or sniper just ready to pop anyone from any angle, and that is annoying, but there's ways to get around. You know, if you're like in any one of these buildings here, you can easily just push around the outside catwalk and punish whoever's just like camping in the middle here. And then there you go, the map's clear. And then people can actually play some close range. It's pretty versatile. And I do understand that the heavy ammo needs to be placed on the part of a map that is the most dangerous because it's a high risk, high reward play. So they put it out here in the open. However, this also happens to be the camping spot. So the camper gets rewarded, and that is something that I don't like. And something so small yet so big on this map for me that would move it up from a C tier to a B tier is the design of these doors. This is just a direct copy paste from Midtown. You know, if these doors were just gone and it was just an open archway, I think that there'd be a lot more room to breathe, because pushing through this tiny little door is so dangerous. You know, there could be somebody right there in dark watching, waiting for you to push through the door, and that happens all the time, and you're easily in a spot to get naded. You know, it's just, if this was more open, you'd have more, you know, movability to be like aiming through there, punishing the people trying to cap B. You know, it's just way too enclosed right here, and this is like the most annoying spot in the map for me. But I do really enjoy this map. I think it's a really well designed. I think it's cool how the catwalks can have a little sniper battle here, or like a mid-range battle here, or like a close range battle if you go dark. You know, there's a lot of avenues to use any kind of loadout you want on this map, and that is good map design in my opinion. Next up is the Burnout, and we're appropriately placing it at B for Burnout. Now this is a good map, you know, it's from Destiny 1, it's a classic, you know, we've all come to love it, but there are 3 things that I don't like about it in particular. If this pillar was removed, I think this map would go from a B to an A tier, because being able to see down the lane right there would make this map, like, it would make this area so much more open and so much more enjoyable. And the other thing I mentioned is that this is one of the only other maps with moving parts, and that's cool. Like, sometimes you can get those sniper ranges all the way across the map right there. You know, it happens every once in a while though, so it's pretty versatile that way. But at the same time, I find these rotating parts pretty aggravating. The fact that you have to like jump over them, and then people are kind of like waiting for you sometimes to jump over them, and you just get punished. So yeah, besides this pillar, those moving circles, and the fact that people can camp outside the entire game, this map is pretty good. Next up is Cathedral of Dusk, and I'm also throwing this one in trash tier along with the other new map, Disjunction. Again, I appreciate that Bungie is finally giving us new maps again, but they can do better. The last 2 maps they gave us, Disjunction and Cathedral, they're just so bad. And yes, I'm aware this is a reissued map from Destiny 1, and I did play a lot of Destiny 1, and I also play this map in this game like 20-something times so far, yet I still do not know my way around this map. It's just a bunch of mindless corridors. It's so confusing. I just don't like the design of it. Can't find my way around ever, but maybe that's just me. And because this map is just mono hallways, it's like there's nowhere to fall back on. There's no escape plan. It's like, say I'm sniping or somebody's sniping me and I'm running through this corridor, and you know, I'm over here and I'm jumping up, I'm like turning the corner like, oh shoot, there's a sniper, let me get out and get a different angle. Because when you fight snipers, what you want to do is quickly ditch out of there and get another angle to try to fight them. But it's like, oh, what am I gonna do? I have to run a marathon to be stuck in the same situation, you know? Like, there's no escape plan. There's no other angles. Like, I'm going over here, I'm on stairs, it's just one corridor. Easily throw a nade and oh, I'm one shot. I'm on a terrible head glitch right here. It's not a good angle, and your only fallback plan is through this, and you run out and you have to just go run a marathon around the map to find another gunfight. You know, I just don't like the hallway aspect of this map. So I really don't have much to say about this map. It's just too claustrophobic and confusing for my liking. And next up is Cauldron. Now this is going to be controversial because a lot of people would have this in their trash tier, but for me, I'm putting it at B tier. I actually quite enjoy this map. I feel like it's pretty versatile, and you can use most loadouts here. You know, you can play range right here, back and forth. You can play range from here, back and forth. And if you're standing up here on the catwalk, you got some range for this doorway here. You know, you can play different things. Over here in the pools area though, I often see people get spawn camped right here for whatever reason, even though it's a close range area. So I think the spawns there need to be fixed. And then I will often see people get spawn camped from here. You know, they'll spawn right there and you can easily just get picked off. So that's a little bit annoying as well. And having spawn camp potential in maps is not good map design. So that's one downside. But I personally feel that the map design everywhere from A to the spawn on that side is pretty good. I'm just not really a big fan of this area around C to pools. I think it's a little bit too clustered and claustrophobic. But for me personally, and the reason this is not an A tier map is because of the doors. The doors are so stupid. Like, These do not need to be a thing. These can easily be deleted and the map can be a lot more open. You know, it's just not a good idea. Because like, why is there no door here? Why is there no door there? Why is there just a ton of doors in the middle? It makes no sense. It should be open and make the area a lot more breathable, and you'd be able to get a lot more angles like from there. You know, you'd be able to punish the people who are just chilling on catwalk all the way from back here, you know. It'd be a lot better if just the doors didn't exist. Next up is Convergence, and you guessed it, trash tier. Easily one of the worst map designs in the game, and every PvP YouTuber will tell you the same thing. And the complaint that you will often hear people talk about with this map, and the complaint that I have myself, is that when you die, you have to run a marathon to get back to the middle of the map. And then when you get to this area, you can easily get trapped by people looking down there. And also when you spawn, this is a spawn trap. And then also it's a very camp heavy map because people will just sit here with a sniper down this lane, or they will sit with a sniper down this lane, just ready to shoot anyone who peeks around the corner. And then I've often seen sweaty stacks of players just sit up here on middle pillar with like ranged weapons like scouts or pulses, just ready to destroy anybody who peeks from the 3 possible angles. There's only 3 angles. And easily when you're trying to get out of spawn, you can get camped just from this angle right here alone. Just playing on this map is never an enjoyable experience. And next up is Dead Cliffs, and no surprise, this one is going in A tier. The only reason that it is not S tier is because of the spawn trap. And you know, I'm personally a fan of the spawn trap. However, at the end of the day, it is technically a negative thing, and therefore it is not S tier. But Dead Cliffs is the definition of a diverse map. You can use whatever loadout and you can have success with it. You know, often people will be sniping from down this lane. Often people will be sniping from down there, but there is ways to counter that. Like if you're running an SMG shotgun and you see somebody over there, you can easily just like get in through this corridor here, and suddenly you can flank them. You can get a close angle and get right up in their face, and they're holding a sniper and hard scoping, so there's nothing they can do. They're not going to have the reaction time to fight back. And if people are trying to use this lane to snipe down there and trap people, they can easily get shot from this side. People can flank from here. It's just great that all types of players from all types of ranges can really have a great time here fighting with their loadout. You know, there's angles for every kind of loadout here. So in terms of map design, the only things that I would change here is, first of all, I would remove this hallway. Like, what is this hallway here for? It's so out of place, you know? And the other thing that I would change is, you know how you can shoot through here? It's an angle that a lot of people don't know about, but you can shoot through this angle. Now, I think that that's cool, but what if you just opened it up? What if, like, see this big open rectangle right here? What if you just opened up and allowed an area that you can literally jump through and get to the other side? You know how we're getting subclasses 3.0, we're gonna get exotics 2.0 pretty soon. I think that if we got PvP maps 2.0 in the future, I think that'd be a little cool change for Bungie to add in. Next up is Distant Shore, and again, appropriately, we're putting it in D for Distant Shore. Again, I don't like this map, but it's not as bad as the maps that are in trash tier. So first off, if you spawn on this side right here, you can easily get spawn trapped. I see it happen all the time. Like if somebody's rushing from either angle, you are screwed and there's nowhere to run. You know, you'll get down to like broken shields, you're one shot. You try to escape this way, you are not gonna have enough time to get out before you get shot in the back. And same thing if you're getting shot from that side and you try to run away this way or hide behind a pillar, they're just gonna jump over and shoot you. And there's like no way to escape this area. You will get trapped. And here at the B flag, we have the nastiest head glitch in the game. Like, that is disgusting. It is so hard to fight back against that. And again, another camp heavy map, people will often camp here at B and just use this head glitch, and then will often, you know, try to spawn trap you back there and just kill anybody from the long ranges here. And this middle area is so janky to fight at. I do not like fighting in this room because there's so many doorways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's so many ways people can get in here. And often when I'm fighting in here, I get shot at and I don't even know from where I'm getting shot at because there's so many entrances. And in terms of Trials of Osiris, you know, going in dark here is just a death trap. You know they're going to be hard scoping in on dark. There's like nowhere to go in here. You really have to be strategic and try to play around seaside and through like a toilet over there. And another thing that I really hate is how bright it is here, the glare. You know, when it was Trials here, I had to turn my brightness all the way down because I couldn't see the little sniper glare, and then the sniper would have the advantage on me because I'm in dark and I'm like very lit up and I'm very easy to see, but it's hard to see them from out there. And then often they'll just be crouching here head glitching on the stairs, and you cannot fight that. Like, you are not about to fight this sniper. They're going to get you as soon as you peek. And I also feel that it's not good map design when parts of the map are really unused in most matches. Like, nobody really fights from C to the room in A. Like, all the fights are going on this side of the map over here, for sure. And next up is Endless Veil, and this one is going right up in the A tier along with Dead Cliffs, because similar to Dead Cliffs, you can use pretty much any kind of loadout here and have a good time. It's very diverse and has lots of angles. You know, if you're trying to snipe, obviously you got the middle lane, but then you also got, you know, lanes down here for people trying to flank. And the way the map is set up, all the zones are like in the perfect positions. I like how on each side's Vex Gate, you got a little bit of wiggle room for range, but you also have the ability to push up with a shotgun as well. You know, it's versatile there. I like how you can stand out on these platforms and get angles on each player's Vex Gate. And there's just one thing that I don't like about toilet area is these big pillars in here, similar to Burnout. They're just in the way. You know, I wish these were removed and have toilet be a little bit more open. And also the whole point of heavy, remember, it's high risk, high reward. We got to put it in the most dangerous area of the map. But because these pillars are in the way, it makes it more safe to grab heavy. And I personally feel that toilet needs to be redesigned a little bit and be a little bit more open, especially this wall right here. Because when you're down here in toilet and you're trying to fight people up there, they are definitely winning because they have a head glitch on you. You know, it's really hard to fight them back when they're just head glitching over the side like this. But yeah, overall, great map design. I like how there's a lot of corridors to get from one side of the map to the other in various different ways. You can take different angles, use different loadouts. There's just a lot of versatility to it. Next up is Eternity, and I was torn whether or not to put this in D or trash tier, but I think I'm going to decide on trash tier. Again, this map is just too sniper heavy, and you gotta have a way in your map design to be able to punish snipers, but if they're playing on any of the outer edge of the map, it's just so hard to punish them. You know, they have, you know, range wherever they want to peek, and it's really hard to get close enough to fight them. Like, they'll often be looking down this lane right here, hard to peek them there. They will look down towards your spawn over here. It is just really annoying and aggravating to just fight scout rifle and pulse rifle users on this map because they got all the range they need. If you are a dedicated ape, basically the only place you're playing at is dark. That's it. Like, if you go around to B side here, they have a perfect long angle right there. If you go to B here, they have a perfect long angle right over here. You know, like, it's just like no matter where you peek, they're gonna have a long range angle on you. It's tough. Not to mention this little nest over here, this little gem. And another complaint I have for Trials specifically is that why do they not just leave the heavy ammo right here? This is a fine position. You can get punished from that angle, you can get punished from that angle. But they, for some weird reason, decided to put the heavy ammo right here. So whoever spawns on C side literally just gets free heavy ammo every time. It's really obnoxious. And next up is Exodus Blue, and I'm putting this one in the D tier. You know, this map would be fine in terms of a bunch of different kinds of ranges for a bunch of different kinds of weapons, except it has one big problem. There is just too much cluster, too much environment, too much clusters, boxes, trees, cars, just stuff that's blocking your view. You can get somebody really one shot and they can just run away because there's just so much junk around. Like, Bungie needs to remove some of these objects and open up the map a little bit more. Then it'd be easier to use some range. But as it stands with the amount of little pieces of cover there are, you have to just use a shotgun here. There's only really 2 sniper angles in this map, and that's right here, and that is on top of pipe. You know, these are your only real sniper angles. Again, on this side, too much environment, too much trash all around the area. Every time I'm fighting somebody down here, I see red on my radar, but I'm like, where are they? I'm like turning corners, peeking around, like, where are they? And then before you know it, I get shotgun directly on the head because people are just jumping over the stuff here. It's just too clustered. Next up is the Fortress, and I'm putting this one in C tier. While it is a very long-range map, which is a thing that I don't typically like, out of all the long-range maps, I would say that this one is my favorite in terms of design. I just think this map is just a little bit too long-range. Like, there's not a balance of close and long range because the only time you can play short range is like from here to B. Like, just this little area right here is all you can play at like SMG range. And I really like the design of the map from C to B to heavy, you know, just this big little triangle area right there through the cave system. But I'm just not a big fan of the design of this area on the outside of A to the middle. I think it is way too open and dangerous to be around at any point in the game. And I personally feel that the placement of the C flag is a little wonky. I don't think it should be right here because you're just like begging to get sniped from down either lane or just have like a Titan fly in at you right here, get naded out. I think C flag should be like right here. I think that's better. You have some cover with this pillar and you got some way to fight back against there and you're not getting punished from the people peeking down that lane. And it's not as easy to have apes just fly in on you from here. So I think C should be right here. I think that'd be a little bit better. And also something that I think would help this area out to help it be a little bit more close range is this tunnel system right here. I don't like how it's just an elbow. It just has like one exit right here to this area where you can still die to long range weapons. Like, I think that it should be a Y sort of hallway where there's another opening right here going that way, because then you have an avenue to get out and fight from here, you know? You'd have another exit plan rather than being forced to go out this way and then just being punished from that angle. So yeah, there's a little things like that that could help this map out. Maybe have like another cave system right here going through that way. You know, because I don't like how just gigantic and linear this area is. You know, like a cave connecting this area to where heavy is, that would be good. I think that'd help open the map up a little bit more, especially for getting around if you're using close range weapons. And next up is Fragment, and we're also putting this one down at the D tier. And I'm sorry that this PvP map tier list is overall pretty negative. It's just, I can't help it. There's just some maps that I enjoy more than others, and I'm sure we'll get to some positive ones pretty soon. And this map has kind of the same problem as Distant Shore in that there is a lot of the map that just doesn't get used in most of the games. You know, this map really consists of like here to just about there where I was standing at earlier. You know, that is the entirety of the map because that is where pretty much all of the fighting goes on at all times here. And just like I mentioned in the fortress, this cave system can easily be extended out even more and be a little bit bigger of a cave system to help open the map up a little bit more to get around. Because if you want to get to see from here, you have to like run a marathon. You know, you have to go all the way around the outside. But if there was a cave system that opened up, you know, like right about there, you know, if it opened up right there, you could easily get around the map quicker and it'd be a lot more bearable. You'd probably have more fights around this area. But as it stands, everybody who spawns along this entire outside area of the map, all they're doing is just running to B. Everybody just runs to B and fights it out right over here. But at the same time, I understand that making Y-shaped or even X-shaped cave systems is just basically turning it into another Vostok. I get that, but still, we need better ways to get around the map more. You know, a map that does a really good job at that is Endless Vale, how we talked about. There's all these little cubbies and corridors to help you get around from one side to the other in a very creative way. However, I do acknowledge that it's pretty versatile in terms of ranges and angles. Like, you can use a variety of different loadouts here and have a good time. And in terms of map design, it's pretty much C tier, but I put it in D just because I personally don't really enjoy it that much. Next up is Javelin 4, and this one is going straight up to S tier. This is everyone's favorite map, and for good reason. This is a perfect map. Like, there's literally no complaints whatsoever. There's no flaws. It is just a very well-balanced map. And I really love maps that are shaped like a triangle because it's good design. Like from C to A, this is like the outer side of the triangle, right? So you got like that big flat line. You know, you got your sniper ranges, you got your scout rifle, pulse rifle ranges. But then once you go to the tip of the triangle of the cone where it starts to narrow down and get to a point, that is B flag. So it's obviously a lot less area space. So you have some leeway for SMG, shotguns. And then you got this diamond shape in the middle. So it's like a Triforce from Legend of Zelda. So the outer edges from all the zones, that's the triangle. But then you got the Triforce, the Legend of Zelda Triforce, the diamond. So you got this from to here, and then to there, and then to there. That makes a diamond shape so you can play those mid ranges, you know, while also having this in the middle so you don't get punished across the way from snipers. So snipers don't dominate. And then you can just jump over that, 8 people, you know, but also play those mid ranges. It's just great. Heavy is in the exact perfect spot. This wall in the middle makes it so, again, snipers don't absolutely dominate all the way across the way. But then you got these crates for cover. So if you are using a hand cannon and they're using a pulse or a scout, you got some way to slide in and punish them. And now you can see besides these crates alone, this area is pretty wide open. Now in other maps that Bungie has made, especially like things like Exodus Blue, they throw a bunch of junk and trash and trees and trucks right here. It'd be like so annoying. But the fact that this is so open is satisfying and just very nice to be at. Like, I have no complaints whatsoever. This is just a perfect map. Next up is Midtown, and we got another one going in the trash tier. And for this map, the reason it's going in trash tier is because of the spawn camping. It is the worst thing. If you spawn A side over there, you are going to just get spawn sniped. Like there is nothing you can do. Jade Rabbit user, sniper user, whatever, you are getting killed immediately, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's very camp heavy from every possible angle, from here to there, you know, from here all the way down to that doorway if you're trying to be, you know, a closer range player. You got people up in Bird's Nest over here, and the people up in Bird's Nest are watching that angle down there. And then if you're trying to come from A tier, if you manage to escape the spawn camper, you got people at this angle right here, and you got people at this angle down here. It is just way too camp heavy. It's just whatever corner you turn, you're gonna get demolished. And next up is Pacifica, and this is gonna be pretty controversial, but I'm putting this one in the B tier. And I've heard a surprising amount of people say that Pacifica is one of their least favorite maps, and I don't understand why. I actually have a pretty good time at this map. Again, I think it's pretty versatile in terms of what loadouts you can use. You know, if you're sniping, you only really have 3 angles. There's that angle there. There is this angle here. And then there's at the top of this little platform over here. You can snipe the people down spawning at C. And that is basically the extent of sniping, so not really the best place for snipers. However, I will say that I do not like this little connecting room right here, connecting the inside to the outside. It's always so dangerous around this area in general, but people who dare go in this room always die. They'll just get naded, and when they're one shot and try to escape, they'll get shot in the back before they make it out from there. You know, what I think there should be, again, we had that Vostok situation going on with having Y-shaped hallways, but I think that this hallway right here, this little elbow, I think it should have another hallway right here. And I think that that hallway should connect to this hallway. And, like, there should be a doorway right here that connects to that hallway up there, and have another way to get around the map. And if you're in this room, if you dare challenge from this dangerous room and get naded, you have a way to run away through here. And for those that don't know, there's a little head glitch right here, so you can help to fight people who are coming up on stairs. A lot of people didn't know about that, but that is a good little design. But I will say one of my biggest annoyances in this map is that little thing right there. You know, you could get another sniper angle on this map right there at C if this thing wasn't in the way. And also, I feel like this area can be opened up more. Remove that, and then also remove this whole box right here, this box and ramp, because it's kind of just like obscuring your view right there as well. If that was removed, you'd have a little bit more of an angle with your sniper. So I think that it would give a little bit more freedom to snipers while also keeping the map a little bit more balanced as well. Next up is Radiant Cliffs, and this one I'm putting in the C tier. This map has the same kind of problem as Distant Shore and Fragment, in which there's a lot of area of the map that just doesn't see many gunfights over the course of most games. Like everywhere from the backside of B tier over there, all the way looping around to like this tree. Because like this tree Bungie put here so people could, you know, use it for cover. It's not a turn back zone, but nobody ever goes back here. I guess it's kind of a death trap anyways. Pretty much most of the gunfights in this map go on right here in this A room to B. You know, like there's a lot of people fighting out here as well. And when you go out here, it's kind of a death trap anyways, because people have this head glitch here, which I really don't like. People will just sit on these stairs with like a long range weapon, and you just cannot fight them back on this head glitch because, again, it's a pretty nasty head glitch. And also, if you spawn right here, you will often get trapped by the people who are just camping at the back of A, because people love to camp on that spot right there. It's very obnoxious. You will often spawn around this area, and every time you pop out to try to get around, you will get murdered by the people up there. And I personally feel that this is a bad spot for heavy. It's pretty safe to grab it there. It is definitely a lot more dangerous right here. I feel like the heavy should be right here in the center of the map. And I also feel that the B zone is not in the perfect position because it is very dangerous here, like especially back when it was like Iron Banner zones. When you'd be capping it, there's so many ways to die. It is just not a safe place to cap from. I feel like they should move it like right here so that you have a little bit more ways to fight back against like the people from over there, because over here you can get like pulsed out from that angle. And or they can remove this giant block right here and like put it up here. And I know that that would give the people who spawn at Seaside the advantage to come and get this zone, but at least it'd be easier to cap because right there is just a death trap. Next up is Rusted Lands, and this one I'm putting in the D tier. I just feel like the people that spawn on the left side of the map have the advantage because they have the high ground, and the people on the right side are just too low. You know, like people will often camp on the silo, and it's so annoying. There will always be somebody with the bow up here, or, you know, people just shooting you across the lane that way. And then also people have the advantage if they come from A over here. because people who are over there on B, you know, they only have these 2 exits here, and you can easily nade those areas, and like, you know, you have the high ground, you have the advantage on them. It's hard for them to like really push up out of this situation. It's just these brick fortresses, you know, like that brick fortress over there, this brick fortress here. There's like a lot of these little rubble and like broken walls and these little corridors and little places you can jump up and around. It's just a cluster F. It's like you don't know where they're at. It's like you see the red on your radar, but it's like, where are you? Are you below me? Are you above me? Like, where do I look? Where do I find you? And then all of a sudden you get shotgun from your back. It's just not fun to play around these areas, in my opinion. And if you want to get this heavy, it's in a really bad spot and you're just asking to get naded. The only way you're really getting it is if you're a Titan and you can put down a barricade at the doorway. Like, the only real place that I have a good time fighting at in this map is right here. I just like stay around A, and then I like go outside a little bit and fight the people down at B, because, you know, the people from A to B have the advantage. You can fight some people from across the lane, but I typically just stay around here. Next up is Twilight Gap, and this one's instantly going into the trash tier. Like, I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't have this in their trash tier. I've never met anyone who actually likes this map. It's just way too shotgun heavy, way too close quarters. Like, the doorways are all so small and so tight, tiny little rooms. Despite it being a really big map, it's actually really close quarters. And no matter where you're at on the map, whatever angle you have is always a bad angle. Nowhere is safe. You can never be anywhere safe. You're getting shot at all times. And every time you try to go outside on this map, you'll always get people pulse rifling you down from this angle, or like on top of some random box, or with heat rises on top of here. And I often see people get spawn trapped here. That's also really annoying. Spawn traps shouldn't be a thing in this game. And every time you are indoors in this map, it's just constant chaos. Like, the corridors are so tight. There's nades going off everywhere at all times through every doorway. You're getting shot from that angle. You're getting shot from that angle. You see red on your radar. You don't know where they are. It's like, it's 2 floors. So it's like, are they above me? Are they below me? I don't know. You guys run after each other. You end up jumping across each other through the elevator shafts. It's like you can't find each other. When you're fighting people on the outer edges right here, they always run away from you like cowards through this way or through that way, just running around you, playing Ring Around the Rosie around these areas. People will often be just goose chasing each other with shotguns through these lower levels and just not being able to catch up to each other. You know, people will get spawn killed from here as well, from people that are up there just farming. Seriously, if you like this map, let me know in the comments down below. Next up, we got Vostok, and this one is going in the trash tier as well. And I apologize, I really apologize that today's list has been so negative, but it's just like, it's Bungie's doing, okay? It's like, out of the reissued / new maps they brought back recently, Cathedral of Dusk is the only one that's not a sniper map. Like, we got Vostok, we got Eternity, we got Disjunction. It's like, why Bungie? Why all the sniper maps? It's like everybody at Bungie is a sniper main, and they just want to bring back all the sniper maps. By the way, I just realized this little thing here is an Iron Banner emblem. I didn't ever notice that until right now. And I can't believe that Bungie is actually encouraging camping, because B is literally meant to camp. Like, you got the window there. Like, you have the window there. It's like, literally, you're meant to camp in the bird's nest on this map. And I've seen a lot of teams just huddle up in the bird's nest on B and just sit there the entirety of the game. And I feel like the entirety of the map is really just here through the cave system. That's it. That's where all of the fighting goes on in this map, because nobody wants to go anywhere around the outer boundaries of the map. All the fighting happens like around these close quarters, because nobody wants to play the sniper ranges. There's a reason why the least popular maps and the ones that people leave all the time are sniper maps like Disjunction. It's because people don't want to play those annoying long ranges and just campers, constant campers. But again, if this is how you like to spend the entirety of your Crucible games, more power to you, but it's not for me. And next up is Widow's Court, yet another sniper map. Thanks, Bungie. And this one is going in the D tier. I don't like sniper maps, but at the same time, it's not as bad as the ones in trash tier. It's just hard to get around in this map without getting gunned down by a pulse rifle, especially people like to camp up here in A and just head glitch down there. People like to camp from down there and just look up at A with snipers. Just snipers down there, snipers down this way. You know, people will be sniping you up at Bird's Nest if you're trying to get heavy. People will be sniping from Bird's Nest down there, down there. Going anywhere in this vicinity is a death trap from every possible angle. Whenever I load into this map and I'm using a close range loadout, I literally just stay going between C through this church here to B. And if you're coming from church and you want to get a close angle and you try to take the back route, guess what? There's only one way out. People will be, well, they'll see the red on their radar. They'll be ready for you. They'll be aiming right here, and you have nowhere to go other than just this one way back out. And then when you come this way, guess what? They're gonna be right there at the stairs waiting for you. So if you go here, you're essentially trapping yourself. If you are a sniper main, you probably do greatly enjoy this map. I'm not in love with it, but I do appreciate that there is a few avenues of possibly getting around if you're using a closer range loadout. So there is some hope in this map. Next up is Wormhaven, and for me personally, this one's going into A tier. I absolutely love this map. I would want to put it at S, but unlike Javelin 4, it's not absolutely perfect. It does have its flaws. So the first flaw I would say is these windows. You know, if they're sniping or if you're sniping, there's no element of surprise whatsoever. You can totally see what to expect, how many people there are, so you know if it's safe or not to push. And it's just nade central in this area, very dangerous to go here. So this area could be tuned a little bit in my opinion. And another thing is that if you go outside, if you dare go to this outside platform, you are so dead. If people see you and they got a pulse rifle, there's no escape. There's none. You are dead if you go out here. And another design of this map I don't like is this entire back area. This entire room, it's mirrored on the other side of the map as well. I feel like it is not needed. I feel like the back area, the spawn areas of these maps are too large and they could be condensed down a little bit and just be this area that you see here. But I do really love the whole middle area of this map. I feel like all the hallways and corridors and ramps and the top floor and the bottom floor, they're all in the right spot where they should be. This ramp down with the lower area, the tunnel to get out. You know, this area at B is kind of a death trap if people up there are throwing nades at you. There's really nowhere you can run, so that's kind of a downer. And the ranges here are pretty long, I would say. You know, but you can go through this corridor here and get a shorter range if you're using like a hand cannon. So you got some little avenues to get some closer angles. And once again, pretty diverse map for all kinds of loadouts, which is always a plus. So that is going to do it for the tier list. Was the tier list good? Was it bad? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's any maps that I should have placed higher up, I would love to hear your input. I do really enjoy a lot of the maps we have, but I feel like there could be changes implemented to them to help make them a lot more balanced and be diverse for a lot of different kinds of loadouts, because I feel like there are some that are too sniper heavy, there are some that are too shotgun heavy, but with some changes, they could be very good. Like especially an Anomaly, if you remove that ball in the middle, I think it could easily be one of the best maps in the game. And I really hope that Bungie gives us some more balanced maps in the future. And this is also going to sound controversial, but I hope we get some more Gambit maps as well. There's a lot of Crucible maps that could very easily be turned into Gambit maps. But anyways, that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button and drop a comment. And if you are new and you enjoy Destiny 2 PvE and PvP weapon testing and builds, then you've come to the right place because we do that a lot here. So consider dropping a sub. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.